Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series following Veminder Ivar's son. And in that last episode, we finally returned to the Baltic region after putting our friend Njord on the throne of Hreifenjall, though there has been some developments about that, which I'll get into in just a moment here. But we've come back here in order to get revenge on the last of our rivals, Hogni Haraldsson, the last living son of Harold Fairhair. And he is not far from us. We are in the midst of planning either to abduct him or potentially to raid and capture him. But regardless, we will have our vengeance. And that is where we're at right now. But as you can see, we've got a little bit of an event here. We are currently visiting the town in which we are camped nearby. And we've actually gone here with our son, Yorleif, who actually, it's pretty cool. He has actually become friends with Yorinder here, which I thought, I was kind of hoping it would happen because we have both of them as our wards. But sometimes they end up as rivals. But I'm kind of glad that they ended up as friends because that's pretty cool. It's actually interesting. Yorinder also somehow got the irritable trait. I don't know how like a kid gets that unless his stress level. I guess he can. Oh no, he did take a stress hit when we when we forced him to become a military engineer. Right. Yeah. So, anyways, he's a bit of an irritable kid, but apparently him and Yorleif get along, so that's good to see. But we've gone to the town with Yorleif, and we see, they're old enough, 11, 12 years old, that they can start training as warriors. And so Yorleif, he's got a set of mail on because he has to learn how to fight and, walk around and survive, wearing his mail. It needs to become a second skin for him. The weight of it should feel like nothing by the time his training is done. Regardless, we pass through several layers of tribespeople with more militant features on our way to the heart of Kołobrzeg, or Kołobrzeg. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Spears, daggers, and bows, but also metals, cured leather, indigenous beliefs, all the makeup of a tribe. I'm mostly greeted by friendly nods and also the odd suspicious glance. So the ruler of this land here is, I believe, yeah, he's Norse, but Vitalist. So this Baltic pagan religion. But they are Norse. There are like Norse rulers up around here, so that's good to see, anyways. So we wouldn't be in unfamiliar territory. Some of the people here are definitely going to speak our language. Yorleifer looks around with a content face, seemingly enjoying the change in scenery. I guess we can mingle with the locals here. I'm invited into one of the tents. A surprising amount of people fit inside, travelers and Pomeranians, all of them blending into one seamless buzz of human noise. Outside, a storyteller sits by a bonfire. Up front, a collection of loud tribesmen recollect their latest excursion. Yorleif looks around at a jumble of individuals with an intrigued glint in his eye. Let's go and hear a story with our son. And then he became the Atua of the forest. Tangaroa inherited the seas. Ruamoko the trembling earth. And Tau Matea the whimsical. Why does that sound like more Polynesian than Polish? Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's not, but Tangaroa. That sounds Polynesian. But that story is for another time. The storyteller gives me a mysterious smile, leans back in her fireplace seat, and takes another sip of spiced wines. That was a great story, we could say. No, but we could say the story has a few good points. Let's see who's up for recruitment here. We do need some women in our camp. Some of our guys need marriages. This one's married, but this one is not. Interesting. I see potential in Piri. She costs a little bit. But we could use some people in our camp. This guy, nah. We could get Piri. I mean, I'm willing to spend a little bit of money here. Find a wife for one of our guys, perhaps. Like, Hjalmar. Hjalmar needs a wife. Let's perhaps arrange such a marriage. Not that, we wouldn't be arranging this, but who knows? Maybe they fall in love and get married, or you know, she just needs a, you know, protector and somebody to take care of her in this, you know, difficult time in a region that clearly has a lot going on there. So, moving away from the holding entrance, I walk along a narrow path past some dilapidated tents into an adjoining open space. Ahead of me lies the path to the supply merchants and artifact peddlers. Over yonder, also I spot what looks to be a tribe's elder milling about in the distance. Let's look for some supplies, see what they've got. Our supply situation isn't too bad, but they've got parsnips and fabrics, firewood and sewing thread. Vasily has it all. A Russian here. I move a bit closer to draw his attention, and he barely looks in my direction as he addresses me. See anything you'd like? Buy some of these and some of those. They have pretty cheap provisions. We don't need to, you know, we don't even really need provisions. Don't need to spend the money. Do we have any artifacts that we would really even care to sell? The Sullied Blade. Oh, wow, we've got a fine sword. Oh, we got to give this fine sword to the kid. I don't even know where we got this. We must have picked it up in a battle, but you know what? Let's give him a sword. There we go. Nice. Train with the sword, kid. Let's see. We could potentially sell the Sullied Blade. No, we can't sell the Sullied Blade because that was quenched in our own blood. That's kind of like I'd like to reforge that or something maybe, but let's look for a contract. Diplomatic dealings, intrigue, criminal contracts, collaborator. Let's see what. I guess let's see what kind of criminal contracts they've got, and let's head back back out of camp. Passing through the commons is a procession of intrigued foreign traders on their way to Biolagard. Yorleifer disappears out of view, but soon returns, offering me a taste of his freshly procured bowl of stew. Good job, kid. All right, let's leave this town here. So it said there would be some jobs, but I'm not seeing them. I feel like the jobs have been bugged out for the last little bit. I have not been seeing jobs popping up for us, so I don't know if it's something to do. I've seen some, but yeah, it seems a little bit odd that we're not getting more jobs popping up. While Hjalmar's ability to make friends has proven invaluable in my scheme, he is not quite as careful around others as he should be. He is too fond of dropping vague hints, and if someone were to start asking questions, there's no telling what he would divulge. The things he learns are too valuable to shut him up. Ooh, that's a bad chance. If agents keeping complete silence, scheme phase length is slower. The things he learns are too valuable. The target is talking to an agent. Plus 10 base chance. Do we take the risk? If he finds out, though, it's gonna wreck us. So I think we'll do without that for right now. A demonstration of leadership. My sister Jarl Christina has been hovering around my account, and she's pretty far away. Knowing her interest in leadership. Maybe we're just gonna send her a letter. That's how I explain it. Father begins my son Yorleif. I love that we're getting all these events with Yorleif here. Really kind of like setting him up as a character, which is cool. Father, I have decided that as I am now a man, I shall have my own tent. No more sharing with anyone for me. The youth stands still. Spiel finished. Petulant defiance oozing from his posture. Almost involuntarily, I crook an eyebrow at this unprovoked display. I will not budge on this. I am an adult and I demand to be treated as an adult. Okay, you're a man now? You want it? Earn it. Ooh, okay, let's see if he can earn it. He triumphs. You know what? He proved himself. Hell yeah, kid. Nice. That is impressive. Good job. You know what? Your life is actually kind of turning out to be pretty good. Might become something of a badass. All right, well, since we have to wait for this, you know what? Maybe we will try to raid that guy. I do want to go, okay, if we're gonna raid him, I'd like to move out of this land here because you don't want to usually raid the ones, the same kingdom you're in. Slavers. The ambush is sprung expertly. A vulnerable bottleneck in the terrain lets a horde of slavers, shackles and swords in hand, team at us from two sides. Okay, slavers are coming after us? That is a bold move. A chorus of scream breaks out from those in my following lacking weapons as realization kicks in. Maybe they're hitting, our wagon train or something. These monsters went out. A horrifying fate awaits many of us. Rally and slaughter these scum. Oh man, we could actually lose a bunch of people. Engage the lead slaver in a duel. Yeah, let's do it. Let us do it. For a few brief moments, Shraz and I pace in lazy half circles, each watching for an opening. I couch my spear ready to defend myself while he clutches his spear firmly to hand. Only one of us is walking away from here today, and I intend it to be me. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. I'm the fastest blade of the Norse. In battle, I'm an artist. My form is good with only small errors. His is only passable. Strike, parry, riposte. I leap into action, launching a flurry of thrusting jabs, driving myself hard against his guard, wearing him down with each expertly timed strike. Let's once again show him that we are the blade master here. Come on, I'll show you how I couch a spear. Confidence is half of any fight, and I throw it fluidly thrusting jabs with all the confidence of a seasoned expert. When I judge the time to be right, I switch up my pattern with a surprise side swipe that strikes Strauss right in the belly. The strike hurls my foe backwards, something red and vital sliding limply out of the new hole as he topples to the ground. I approach with some caution, but it soon becomes clear that shock is setting in. Taking a moment to kick away his sword just in case, I put him out of his misery. You picked the wrong guy to mess with. Slavers, victorious duel. The man's death sends a ripple of panic confusion through the enemy's ranks. The battle around me inflects a chorus of screams and wet gurgles going up from the foe as the slave traders are put to the sword by the dozen, dying in their droves. Within minutes, a relief force from the column's main body. Yeah, okay, so they tried to hit like our baggage train, but luckily Vemender was there. A relief force from the column's main body breaks through the slaver rearguard, and it's all over. With a contemptuous kick, I knock what remains of their leader face down into the dirt. That's what I think of you, scum. Hell yeah, Vemender, man. What a man. This guy he's actually racked up. He's racked up quite a few kills over the course of his time. I come across a man while passing through Kamian. He is nonchalant and tilts his head back as I approach. Greetings, my name is Cosma of Vipuri. I'm a porter. I like to claim that I carry all of Kamian on my back. Har har. I package and transport all manner of objects, pottery, foodstuffs, weapons, you name it. I would be willing to join your camp for a few coins would be enough to lure me away from this place. That's actually pretty decent. He's only average, but we do need a porter. I can only pay you in food or clothes. You know what? Let's do that. I don't want to pay this guy money. He is intelligent. Callous, arrogant, lustful. Yeah, quite the villain. We've a dishonorable villain. He'll fit right in. Bring him on. So now we have our new head porter, Cosma. Interesting. Wonder if this character will turn out to be anybody cool in the story. All right, we've gone to Jomsburg. This does mean that we can probably, we might as well try the raid, right? All right, yeah, let's head over. Oh no, we're gonna take bad attrition. 100 casualties. Move over here then, and then we'll go in from the north. Learning on the job of those I've chosen to involve in this little scheme. Joanne is probably not the most skilled. You can go further than this, Joanne. If the plan goes well, gains 20 days of progress. That's actually good. I want things to go a little bit faster. Jarl Ragnar the second and Alfhildir Scallendale. Oh, nice. So our daughter finally got married to her husband here, the Jarl of De Huberth, or however you pronounce that one. That's good. Good for her. Hopefully she'll do well there. Petty Queen is possessed. Not sure when that happened, but all right, let's go and raid It's gonna take 100 casualties, but I'm okay with that. Oh, the abduct scheme. All right, guess a raid is I guess the raids, we're gonna have to hope that we capture the guy in the raid here then. I mean, theoretically, if we can successfully raid this town, you know, the guy, he is there, right? Yeah, he is. You know, do we raid the town and you know, if we raid the town, can we assume that we've captured him? Raided waltz. So imagine the army of the Leon's Bani coming upon this tribal village, this horde of battle hardened veteran Viking and Norse warriors coming upon this village and surrounding it. They lead the raid, they capture all these people. The village defenders are not even there. This guy's, you know, in a war that he's probably sent his troops away for. So it's like very like lightly defended, not enough people there. Hogni is there. We knew that he was there. We saw him, you know, being in the holding. And you could imagine the Leon's Bani as they take the town, they kill the defenders, capture all sorts of like prisoners and stuff to sell to the slave markets, and we march in. Vemender, probably with his son and with Yorinder, you know, marching along behind him. Some of his most trusted warriors, such as Hjalmar and Herolf and, you know, Gerdaudas, Branislav, you know, bringing his most trusted warriors. He basically marches in to the main hall where, you know, there's only like a few guards. They probably just surrender. No, like seeing what's going on. They know, you know, they're not gonna throw away their lives over this. And you know, Vemender demands, he demands to know where Hogni is. You know, that where's the son of Harold Fairhair? And the people of the village, you know, Hogni, I imagine, he's not a coward, but he's not necessarily brave. I imagine that he would, you know, he would be reluctant to put himself forward, but perhaps the people of the village, you know, would push him forward here to you know, because they think that maybe they will suffer less if they give up the man that we have come here for. And so I have imprisoned Hogni. I just think this makes way more interesting events rather than just waiting endlessly for potentially an abduct scheme or whatever. There's only so much you can do. And yeah, like I can totally imagine this as this, you know, 1,000 men come in, 1,000 battle hardened Vikings come in. You know, he might have tried to escape or might have tried to hide, but there was no way he is hiding from justice. And so we now have Hogni as our prisoner. You know, maybe we let some of the people go in this village, but honestly, I doubt it. You know, they might have given Hogni up, but frankly, Vemender is callous, so he probably wouldn't care that much. He lets his men, you know, raid the village and take what they will. He has what he wants, and that is Hogni. Now, we probably would, you know, offer Hogni the chance to, you know, fight his way out of it. But I mean, he's an old man. He's drunk. You know, he's not a warrior, as we can clearly see. You know, calm, forgiving, lustful. He's basically just like yeah, he's not a very impressive man. And so I think he would be, even though he's not a coward, I think like the thought of facing Vemender is just like might be like too much for him. And so, you know, he might refuse, or perhaps, you know, Vemender does not desire to you know, give this man the chance to go to Valhalla. Maybe we don't even offer him a chance to fight his way out because he's not a warrior. You know, we could have respected his brother Yorinder, who was a capable warrior. You know, a Norse warrior, famed in battle. His other brother Gudfrider, another Norse warrior, you know, who made a name for himself fighting. You know, these are two men that we would respect and that we would offer a chance for them to go to Valhalla with a sword in their hand. But Hogni, Hogni is not a warrior. He is not a man worthy of respect, and he is not a man whom we shall give any respect. So the question is, how do we end the last son of fair hair? Well, we have some options. Beheading doesn't feel right. We've already used drowning. Crushed to death is an interesting one. Thrown to blood eagle. Oh man, um that's a good like I know some people want the blood eagle. You know, Vemender is callous. Vemender is callous. He is vengeful. You know, Hogni has lived a long time, and it has to be said, you know, his family ousted ours from their homes. They tried to like send us back into the dirt. His brother killed our brother. And you know what? Perhaps this is a fair and reasonable one. I know that some people, you know, down there in the comments want a little bit of a blood eagle, and so I know I said that I don't think that this was very common, but this does seem like an exceptional circumstances, doesn't it? Blood eagle the man. As dawn breaks, I gather with my guards and bring Hogni to the site of the execution. We make our way outside Jomsburg's walls, where a towering structure stands, silhouetted against the sky. With a somber smile, I lead Hogni up the wooden platform and force him to kneel. The executioner steps forward, tools in hand, ready to perform the dreaded blood eagle. I watch as Hogni is bound tightly, unable to move. The knife glints in the morning light as it is pressed against his back, slicing through flesh and bone. The air fills with Hogni's screams as his ribs are severed from the spine and his lungs are full pulled out, forming the grisly wings. Terrifying. That is absolutely horrific. And yeah, I think Vemender, you know, consider his traits, you know, irritable, vengeful, callous. You know, I think maybe he makes an exception in this case here. I stand in the glory of Hogni broken and exposed at my hand. We lose 140 stress because we were vengeful. Hell yes. There we go. Look at that. Barely stressed out at all now. And so it is done. The last of our enemies. Oh, you can only disband in a non-hostile area. All right, we should return then back to Jomsburg. Oh, I do not want to take that attrition. Well, it is done. All of our people have been slayed. And yeah, that was a long time coming. I mean, how many years since we went on this? I think it was 9/22. So it's been what, 23 years since we went on our quest of vengeance, and finally all of our enemies lie dead. That is something to see. Our family or maybe not our family. I don't think our family cared about this as much as Vemender did, but they can now rest. Vemender can rest. Or can he? Maybe not. He doesn't seem like the type of guy who rests. Yeah, and then from here, I mean, we've got a plan, but I did mention, and something you might have noticed when I was looking at our thing here, Njord ain't wearing a crown. What the heck happened to Njord? He has actually been usurped by Arnbjorn here, and this is a super interesting situation. So if we take a look at the title history here, Njord came in, conquered it, but a year later, Arnbjorn was installed by faction demand. So enough people must have come up against Njord, and if we take a look, this can explain it all, and this is going to explain a lot. So who does Arnbjorn have an alliance with? Well, it's none other than Galicia, and let's take a look at Galicia here. King Stein Longsword. This is a character who maybe flew under the radar. We've taken a look at him a couple times, but I'm starting to think that Arnbjorn was the one who was behind all of this. The murder of our sister, the murder of Alfonso's sister, all of this. He's the one who has the alliance with Hraefnjall. He's got Hraefnjall blood. This man is deceitful, zealous, but humble, but yet he is still an aspiring blade master, a strong, capable warrior, flagellant. Like this guy, he will, inflict pain on himself simply for the catharsis of it. This man is absolutely, this would be the Norse kind of warrior that you would not want to end up on the wrong side of. He's got the alliance with Hraefnjall. He obviously put Arnbjorn onto the throne because Arnbjorn is married to Stein's sister here. It was Stein was behind it all along. That's kind of what I'm thinking now, just based on his traits. That zealous trait. He's probably, pushing to, oh God, what happened to Alfonso? Lunatic. Oh man, that's rough. Yeah, that's rough. But yeah, I think that it was King Stein, with his Hraefn blood and his Normandia blood, trying to push back against the Christian influence. And now Njord, our dear friend, has been, had the crown taken from him. He's still trying to fight. He's still trying to survive. But it's entirely possible that we wouldn't know about this. Word might not have traveled to us yet. So, we can't go and help our friend if we don't know what's happening there. But yeah, fascinating turn of events there. But I think Njord is on his own. I kind of want to leave him to it. If he wins, it doesn't look like he's going to. I don't think we could even get back there in time. He did hire the Falcons of Freya, interestingly enough. But yeah, with Stein and his nephew working against him, totally makes sense that he would have a lot of trouble defending that, even though we did leave him some of our Leon's Bonnie warriors. So we'll see if he can pull something off, pull something out of his hat, but I doubt it. If he goes and becomes an adventurer again, I will pull him back into our camp, because I think that would be pretty cool if he ended up coming back to us. So yeah, that's what happened over there. But for now, I think we just want to return back. I mean, the goal obviously is going to be explained in a moment. Apparently, Hastine spit in my nephew Yorander's food during dinner a few nights ago. You're a whelp, Yorander screams. But you're a shitling, Hastine screams back. Yorander has been fighting with Hastine every day since. Not a minute goes by without him plotting some sort of petty revenge. Yorander gets vengeful. Yeah, sure. We did kill his father, so maybe we don't want him to have vengeful, but, it is what it is. Raid loot delivered. There we go, bringing our money back. So, yeah, our goal is, I do believe, to take Gotland. I think that this would be pretty cool. Oh, Humpy died. Slain in battle by Chieftain Carol of Sarama. Cool. And now his young kid here. Well, this is going to make Gotland a prime target. He does have quite a few troops, actually. But I think we would be able to beat him. The thing is, I want to save up a good chunk of money before we go and take that. Because, we will still be able to raid after we take this land. But we're gonna be suffering on money a little bit. Well, we're not even getting jobs anyways, but yeah, I think that we are going to do a little bit more raiding, and then we will prepare to take Gotland. So yeah, let's head back onto the sea. Where are we gonna raid next? Prisoners dying in our dungeons. I mean, it happens. Do we go and raid England? How many troops you got? He's got some troops, but I think, we should probably refill our men-at-arms. Refill with provisions. Let's pause here. I want to disband and bring up our full army of raiders here. All right, let's go. 1,200 raiders. Plenty to go and deal with our enemies, I have no doubt. Chaim died. This is a character from back in Ivar's time. He lasted a while. As we trudge down the road, a building hoves into view. The battered sign reads, "The Royal Oak. I'm afraid I absolutely require lodging. Your hint is taken with a discount on top." Thank you. That was wise of you, Dala. Very wise. All right, let's head to sea. Where are we gonna raid? Where are we gonna get the best loot? Oh man, yeah. Don't really want to risk the ire of the Holy Roman Empire once again. But England is always ripe for the picking, right? Oh wow, 138th, the bishopric of Canterbury. Well, oh, that is some decent money right there. We can fill up our coffers just from the one raid on Canterbury. Why is it so much? Oh, it's because it's got the special building, the Canterbury. We're gonna raid the Canterbury Cathedral. Hell yeah. Oh man, that is gonna fill us up with loot. Yeah, baby. All right, let's go. I'm not even too worried about the English army coming. Man, we might have to go and raid them again too. Yeah, we can probably, I'm sure we can take the English army. They might not even get here in time. Rune rambling. Let's try our luck in the runes. Search goes well. We discover a small trinket. Sanctified stained glass. Probably found that in one of the places we raided. Nice little building model there. Not sure if that's from the mod or one of the mods that I got, or if it's just always like that. Man, we might even get out of here before the English can even form up their armies. Well, looks like we did. All right, guess we're gonna. That was like a lightning fast raid. Look at this. We're already completely filled up on loot. So we can just head back like immediately with our loot there. And yeah, we might. I mean, we might do another raid. Honestly, Enoch drank himself to death. Oh no. Rest in peace, brother. I think Vemender. I don't know if he really liked his brother that much. His brother was a priest, Catholic priest, nonetheless. But yeah, we might not have liked him, but we don't really like much of our family, do we? How are the kids turning out? Yeah, pretty good. We could actually try to give Yorleif the Vengeful trade. I'm tempted to try it. Let's see. 50-50 chance. Let's see if it works out. Failure. The knave cheated. Will my friends ever stop trying to get the best of me? They know they can cross you. He seems a little bit upset that we're trying to get this. Oh no. Niord was captured. Oh man, is he gonna, let's hope that he gets released. Can we ransom him? Hey, maybe we can. He would accept the ransom. But we don't know. But we don't know that this is happening. That's the thing. We don't. We do not have word of this. Oh, he still holds lands though. Maybe he'll be stripped of his lands. That's a good question. I suppose. I mean, I imagine that he would be, right? Like they wouldn't just let him hold on to that. He's too much of a threat. Surely. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, will Arnbjorn strip him of his lands? I suppose he might. I guess we'll see. All right, we're gonna deliver our loot back, and then I guess we'll do we head back? You know, that was a lot of money. We're at 580. It's probably gonna. The thing is, we can still raid once we take Gotland, so we don't really need to get all of our money now. We're not doing jobs as it is because they're not spawning for whatever reason. So frankly, there's not a lot of reason. There's not a lot of reason to wait. I think that it might be time we come back with all the loot of Canterbury, filling up our coffers. You know, we've got strong, capable warriors, certainly enough to deal with the Queen of Pomerania. Yeah, she's barely got any troops. We can easily declare a war for the Jarldom of Visby here. Honestly, I don't see any reason not to do this. I think that it's time. I think that, you know, we played his land list for quite some time. And I think it's time for Veminder to find himself some land. And I mean, take a look at Sweden here. Sweden, once again, ruled by a Catholic king. The king is converted to Catholicism once again here in Sweden. And so, Veminder is probably seeing the Norse, the Norse way of life is under threat. And he might see himself as something of a champion of that Norse way of life. And so I think that it will be time to finally take some land. But that will be in the next episode, Wanderers. So until then, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next episode.